Shall we introduce the stars that you come to see? So, please welcome to the stage, Padalecki! And also, you may know the usher from today. Guys,
how do we do this? Do we?
I don't think I've got chips and you like that. There you go. Pass it this side.
That's me.
I think you're in the middle.
I have a strain on my heart. Just walking.
Yeah, well, I've one each, so then it's them to keep doing the wide shot. So, before we start, Jared, yes, so there was some risky... There were some risky pictures that were circulated. We've got to touch on this, sorry to sort of say, that went out yesterday of you wearing a red top. Yeah, and, one of our other hosts, Ben.
Nottingham Forest shirt or something?
No, nothing like that. Oh. It was a Liverpool shirt, wasn't it? And
fuck yeah, it was.
He's owning it. But we've got one of our other hosts, Ben, who's been doing the hosting as well. He's got another shirt that he would like to present.
This is an old shirt, but I'm sure it still fits. There's two teams in this city. And then there's the good team.
Is that when they were relegated?
We got relegated, we had points to look, we're still here, we're still standing. Well, I'm not going anywhere.
Put it on your wall.
Oh my god.
I was going to get tackled every 30 on the back, but I couldn't have time.
Amazing.
Too many
I will say, look at your audience. Look at this audience. One gift deserves another.
Well played. To you. Enjoy the rest of your panel, ladies and gentlemen. Jared Padalecki and Mark.
I used to love football. The Cowboys or the Niners? Football. That's not football. No, we use our feet to run.
My kid played for Fulham, right? And he was playing and he's talking about American footballers in California, and he's going 12 minutes of exercise in a game, 3.5 hours long.
Well, it's either 12 minutes of sprinting or like 2 hours of lightly jogging till the score ends in 0 fucking 0.
I know you should watch Man City now.
I don't know. I like to go really fast and get done early. What?
I'll say a word.
It matches the shoes.
Every time I've done these panels over this weekend, we've ended up doing a football podcast somehow. It's like, talk about the show. It's like, so, talk about the show. It's, how did you get involved in this behemoth?
Yeah. So some of y'all know, some of y'all don't. When I first heard of Supernatural, I was on Gilmore Girls. I saw some Luke Steiner shirts out there, and I met some Gilmore fans. The original Dean, I should say. And then they told me about this guy, bowling guy on Smallville. And he and I were both in the Warner Brothers family. They're like, we think y'all would make a good pairing. And so they said, we have this show, it's called Supernatural. At the time, I think it was like Buffy and Charmed and Angel on the network in the States at least. And I was like, I'm a fan of those shows. But I was like, you know what, I want to do something more serious. Like, no, this is more X-Files than Charmed, than Buffy.
This was WB though, this wasn't even CW.
Yeah, WB. So I was like, okay, cool, I'd love to read the script. I read the script and thought, holy shit, this is badass. Like, this is so what I'm into, like the Luke Skywalker, the Harry Potter, that classic, like, Joseph Campbell mythology, the archetypes. So, I was like, okay, cool. I'd love to try out for it. Cool. Next Tuesday at noon, or whatever it was. So go in, and for those who aren't actors out there, back in 2005, the way it worked to audition for a TV show was you go in and there would be a dozen guys or gals that looked roughly like you did. You know, there'd be a dozen 22-year-old white dudes like in a room, and we'd just sit there twiddling our thumbs, like, okay, Mark and John. Okay, now Bill and Frank. Now Mark and Frank. Like they do, they call it chemistry reads to see who gets along. And so I was expecting 20 people, you know, 10 for Sam, 10 for Dean. And I get there, and it's me, and it's Jensen. Who you trying out for? Like, Dean. Sam, cool. Where are you from? Texas. Where are you from? Texas. You have any siblings? Yeah, older brother, younger sister. You? Older brother, younger sister. Okay, cool. Who's your football team? Who's your pro ball team? Cowboys. Who's yours? Cowboys. He's like, oh, this is really nice. So they brought us in and had us read in front of. It wasn't a room this big, but it was kind of like stadium style with all the 20 heads of the network and the studio. And they come in, we read the scene, and it's the whole. You know, when I told Dad I was scared of the thing under my pillow, he gave me a 45. That whole sequence, down the stairs. We're sitting there, we say it, and scene ends. And like, okay, why don't you go back out and we're gonna talk and we'll come see you. Cool. So we go back into the room. We're like, I think that went well. That seemed to go well. Like, that felt good. We'll see. And when you sign a deal to do a TV show, it's a 6-year contract. So it's like, hey, if you get this job. If we say yes to you, you're doing the pilot, and if we say yes to you for the next 6 years, you're doing the show wherever it's shooting for the next 6 years. So it's a lot on the line, right? And so we go up there, we're like, I think it was good. I think it went well. So they come back and they give us a few notes, like, hey, can you do one where maybe add humor? I forget the notes. Like, sure. So they go in. Okay, what do you want to do? Like, let's just do it. You know, we don't want it, let's do it. And so we went back in, did it, and they were like, great, thank you, please go wait back in the green room and we'll talk and bring you back in. We're like, no problem. We went back to the green room, we're like, I think that went well too, man. Like, it felt good, I think we did it. I was feeling it. And so they come in, and like, okay, come on back. Like, okay, great. And so we go on back, and then we get in, and everybody stands up in the room and says, congratulations, you got a TV show. It was Peter Roth, who was the head of Warner Brothers. And so Jensen and I kind of looked at each other like, all right, I guess we're doing this. And that was my introduction to Supernatural.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we have David Nutter did the pilot.
He's brilliant. He's just something special.
Amazing.
Did you have the same kind of experience?
Yeah.
Was it?
They'd already been.
I was going to say 20-year-old men that you're up against, and
I had the wonderful fortune of being friends with Kim Manners, and Kim Manners and I would intersect every time I was in Vancouver. I would go into the Gerard bar. And because I don't drink, I'd have a big bottle of Pellegrino in there, and he'd come in with whoever was directing the Supernatural episode at the time. So basically everybody else would be coming in, and his mates would be in. And so for years, while I was shooting at the shows, I'd be hearing how fantastic this show is, and you have to come do it sometime. And so for years, I love that man. That man, he was the gruffest bastard I ever worked with. I did madness with him. He screamed and shouted at me in the middle of a scene once. 7-page scene that I had to do. It was just garbage on that. He screamed at me like, come on! And I'm like, I'm doing the best that I can, sir. But the executives are walking across the stage, and they're like, well, that's telling them. So they're looking at us, and they took me out to dinner. And we became fast friends, and he's a lovely man. And I worked with his brother, Kelly. And he got very sick, and I truly loved the man. I didn't want to impose on him when he was sick, because I know him well, you know what I mean? And I didn't want to hurt his feelings. I didn't think he wanted to see me that way. And he was over behind Fox when I was working on the Fox stages. And Kelly told me, and I was like, damn it. and then he passed, and it was a big loss. He was an extraordinary man, and he'd always tell me you'd love the boys, you'd love this stuff, you love the, and then suddenly Crowley comes, and it's an audition. And it wasn't at that time I wasn't auditioning a lot for stuff. I would be asked to do certain things, etc. But it was an audition for Crowley. I went, oh, I'm doing this. I'm like, I'm going, there's some sort of sign here that I can't do this. And I went in and, you know, I had the job before I walked out of the bloody room. And I was supposed to do one episode. 8 years later.
20 years later, essentially now, you remember how hot it was in that goddamn room?
Oh, God. You were sweating because the fire was
sweating. I sweat in the snow. Like, I can go to a meat locker and just sweat if I move too much. This was in a room that the fireplace came and we're in like wool coats because we had Sam and Dean coming from outside where it was pissing rain because it was Vancouver, and then had to go do something else. And so they had some, like our winter gear. So I'm wearing Sam Winchester clothes. You know,
10 layers. Yeah.
Heavy boots, socks, and I'm like, I'm miserable. Like, get me out of here. Just like the sweat is dripping off.
But I've never said this. It was like I had pages. It was the whole "how about you don't miss morons" scene. So I had pages of this stuff, and the two of them just looked at me and kind of like, "We just want you to be good in this. You're so supportive. You're like, this character's great. The scenes are great." And I had the gun and the props and the stuff. I put the gun in your head and all this stuff. And they were just so kind to me. It was just like, because it was a lot of words. It was a lot of words.
In fairness, we didn't know you yet. If we knew you already, we would have been asked. Yeah. You know what's funny is I never thought of this until you told the story. I think if I were to think back on my time on Supernatural, I have one big regret, and that is this. At the time, and
writing rude words on the back of my Range Rover.
No, I love that. You're not doing enough. I was dating my now wife, mother of my kids. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jen.
I had gone down to LA. I had a couple days off, or it was the weekend. I forget what kind of day of the week it was. But on the way, she was driving me to the airport to fly back to Vancouver. And on the way to the airport, I get a text that Kim is in the hospital. And Genevieve was going like, do you want to stay? And I think I had to work that day. I think I was flying in at 6 a.m. to land at 9 to film at noon or whatever. And she's like, you want to stay? And I was like, no, I'm off in a couple days. Like, I'll come back and go visit him. By the time I landed in Vancouver, he had passed. Yeah, and I wish I'd stayed.
He was just an amazing guy. He was something else. And look, I've worked with a lot of people, and I've known you since you were a lot younger. A lot younger. And the truth is, it sounds so corny, and oh, this show is a family. This is a place where we went to work with 150 of our friends for over, a decade and a half. I did nearly a decade of it. And I think the energy that he instilled upon how to behave on a set was absolutely the reason why anybody could walk on that show and be treated like gold. You could succeed. If you came with your A game, you were looked after and you were carried. And if you were crap, you were looked after and you were carried. There's a couple of people that didn't, I won't ever say what it is, but didn't make it beyond a certain small amount of an arc, and they just didn't have the right thing or didn't get it or whatever.
Yeah, or the right attitude. We even had people that recurred and returned who maybe they weren't as solid an actor as a Mark Sheppard or a Mark Pellegrino type, but they were good enough and they were kind. And they showed up and they wanted to work, and they wanted to laugh, and they knew their lines, and they hit their marks, and they showed up in time, and there was no bullshit. It was like, okay, we can work with this, and so let's keep on going.
There was a trust element that was mind-blowing, and I've worked on some amazing sets in my time, but it was special, man, to know that every single person in that crew had my back every single day. When we did the end of season 8, when you and I were doing hours and hours and hours. In between shots, you've got to move lights, you've got to move cameras, you've got to do stuff, and they don't have to be quiet. They're working all day. They've been there 3 hours before us. They're leaving 3 hours after us.
And it was a long trip. It was like an hour away from town on some like beautiful lake that feels
Oh,
signature.
yeah, so when we did, when we went to the stage, when we came back to do the interiors,
Yes.
and we did the interiors in there, they didn't make a sound between takes for 2 days because the boys are being serious, we'll support them. And that's how we got through those pages and pages of stuff.
It was a couple of 2 or 3 days or something.
It was 2 or 3 days,
And then Jensen and Elena come in.
it was nuts. It was so that we like you see all the gag reels, right? You see how silly everything gets. And the reason why the gag reels are fun is because we work hard. So
Yes.
one mistake.
Never forget. I will say this, a lot of y'all know Mark and have known him many times or met him many times. And a lot of y'all can agree with me, he doesn't shut the fuck up ever. Other than the 2 or 3 day span where we were in that chapel, and it was before the AKF campaigns. It was, you know, what Sam was going through in a very different way was similar to what Jared kind of had gone through and was going through. And so I went to a weird place. It's the only time in my 480 episodes of television I've ever listened to music during, in between scenes. And Mark is tied up, you know, you're my Marley Moose and all that bit. And like, usually when you're tied up during a scene, they call cut and they move the cameras, it takes 20 minutes. And you go like, untie me, I'm going to my trailer to pee and like have some water. He just stayed there and was quiet the whole time because I just sat there in the corner and he was just there for me. So kudos to you, Mark Sheppard.
Off camera, in character for a day and a half. You suddenly realise that everybody's got your back, and it's just the greatest feeling in the world. When you're trying to there's never enough time, there's never enough money, there's never enough ability to make the best that you can make of it, you know, and we're all trying. But when you know everybody is trying to make the best possible thing for you guys that we can make, with all our hearts, with everything that we care about, it's just a fantastic experience. And what I love about the gag reels, what I love about the gag reels is you're seeing the antidote to that. When Jensen, for the first time in his entire history, can't get a line out of his mouth, which is, I'd rather be smacked during sex.
I love that
He
one.
messed it one time, and you killed it. Oh. We have 38 takes.
Hey, well done, Jared.
Worth it. Removing a word or adding a word, and I was like, that's not the word! But it was good. Anyways,
Yeah.
great time, great family. Let's get to some questions.
I was going to say, so we're going to go over to, just pick a lot of people at 2, a lot of people at 4. If anyone wants to go to 1 or 3, go over there. We'll start with 2, because it's close.
It's lit. It's illuminating.
What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Shade. Nice to meet you both. So I was just wondering, obviously, as the show took up so much of your lives, has, you know, like the personas of Sam and Crowley, do they kind of shine through in the day-to-day now, or, you know, like, do you kind of sometimes look back and go, oh, that's something Sam would do, or that's something Crowley would do?
Big time. Big time. I mean, kudos to the writers. You know, for me, 15 years in the show, from 22 to 38, because the pandemic obviously pushed us 6 months or whatever. Those are really formative years. I mean, usually you go through formative years when you're younger. You know, it's basically if you were in kindergarten with the same people and you went all the way through 5th grade and 8th grade and high school year and the freshman and sophomore year of college with the same people. Like, it's a long time. And then when you're trying to do that while adulting and you have bills, you have mortgage, and you have responsibilities, you raise a family or you meet the person you love, kind of further adds to what you have to do in a day. And so it's hard to kind of separate what I feel you. I have to be on stage with him.
Mark scares everybody.
It scares us all.
Last week, so
Yeah, it's hard to say what I got from Sam and what Sam got from me, if it makes any sense, because I think a really talented writer will watch what's going on, both between action and cut and behind the scenes, and go like, oh, I think Jared and Sam, bless you, Jared and Sam, Chuck bless you. Jared and Sam will do this really well. Let's try this, let's try that, and they'll kind of help you work. And so I was able to work through a lot of stuff playing Sam with y'all supporting. So thanks for letting us go so long. He was already a demon, so
I've killed several billion people since I was.
Thanks for your question.
I'll tell you, I'll be absolutely honest though, just very, very briefly for a change. Some of the most wonderful things I've learned in my life, I learned while doing Supernatural. And that's absolutely true. No, but genuinely, it was a life lesson to be able to be, you know, everybody says a family. Nobody does 15 years, man. Nobody does 15 years. But to be able to be part of that and see them grow and see kids and, you know, like my wedding, to be connected and know that people care, and going in through a gate in the morning and saying hello and being able to say hello to 100 people. And they say hello back, and you know, let's go to work, let's go play, let's go make something good. It's a fantastic experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
thank you. Yeah, something your soft side.
Yeah, we don't want to. I'm not supposed to be caring. We got to number 1.
Hi, I'm Morgan, and my question is, I'm about to graduate from drama school, and I'm just wondering, do you have any advice on getting into the industry?
Don't do it!
Can anybody translate that to American? I don't know what just happened.
She's about to graduate from the equivalent of drama school. Do you have any advice?
Oh wow, well first, congratulations.
Thank you.
Fellas. I guess my advice, if I were to give some to a young lady in a position, would be to not focus on getting into the industry. It would be to focus on keeping on growing. And are you an actress, a writer, a director?
I dance.
A dancer, amazing.
Yeah.
So keep dancing. And I think one of the big things, I think some of them, probably for Mark as well, some of the most talented actors and actresses and dancers and singers I've ever known are not on TV shows. But they still do it. You know, they'll do either their own YouTube channel, they'll do plays. So just keep on going and working. Just keep on focusing on your craft and being the best you can, doing strange situations. Just keep saying yes, you know, unless you're uncomfortable with it, not yes.
Awesome
That
advice.
doesn't work.
Like, if you have to smooch Jim Bieber in a scene, you can. Keep on being you and keep on learning and growing. It took me, I haven't been around as long as this guy, but it took me 24 years. Around 24 years in the industry, it took me a long time to realize that I'm not working to tell everybody like, hey, I worked a lot. I'm working to keep growing, and to Faith's question earlier about like what you learn in the process. It's all, at the end of the day, it's going to be about you're, you know, many decades from now, when you know you're talking to your kids, your grandkids, or whatever. You're not going to think to yourself like, I wish I was in more TV shows or movies. You're going to think like, I wish I'd spend more time kind of learning about myself and spending time with family and friends. Still work hard and do your best, but don't forget this is all a growth process.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Roxy.
No, Jared. Hi, I'm Roxy. Okay, thank you.
I think your characters are amazing. So my question is, what was the most fun episode to shoot when making Supernatural?
Most fun. We've gone from Welsh to Scottish.
I have my translator right here.
Your Welsh accent.
Most fun. They were fun in different ways. I do like the silly, goofy ones, though those were actually not fun to shoot. French Mistake was amazing. I had a miserable time shooting because I was so nervous. I'm not kidding. In a strange way, I could say either. I could say either French Mistake or Sacrifice. Fun being a weird word, but like French Mistake, changing channels, for me, it was nerve-wracking. I was like, I don't know how to be funny and a key and a lock and it's gonna fit. I hope this works. You never know. But they'll be like, what? He's married to Jen. Blah, blah, blah. They haven't unpacked up. But selfishly, I think going through stuff, I'm talking about it in season 8, going through stuff like that was almost as fun in, weird. I'm realizing this now. Going to places where you think you might have to go in real life, or feelings you really have in real life, and being able to explore it through another character, knowing that at the end of the day, you can go take a shower and have a glass of wine and it's gone, is almost more fun for me. It's almost like they say Batman doesn't skip leg day, you know? It's like the shit that you don't want to do is probably the shit that you really need to do. And so those episodes were really powerful for me. You know, I know I presume I'm never going to be Jared playing Sam in a TV show on a TV show. Like, that was very meta, and I'm just like, I don't want to mess it up. But going through stuff, getting the opportunity to go through stuff on stage or on camera with people you respect and love and trust was strangely more fun. Maybe I'm a masochist. Jesus. I'm learning something about myself today.
The end of season 8 was magic for me. It was magic. We were all on our A game, and we knew we had backup, and we knew we could go down any road and it would work. We knew that the more we put into it, the better it would be.
Yeah. And for sure. And I worked my ass off on that episode, and I was like, yes, like this is a Sam episode. Then I knew the goddamn scenes with him, and he steals the episode from me. I still haven't forgiven him. You said your name was Roxy?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you, Roxy. What was your favorite?
It was the end of season 8. There's no question, because it felt like everything came together at that point. Because we'd had some changes in leadership and changes and stuff, and some incredible episodes in 6, but that's after Kripke. And then 7 was a bit weird for me because it was a single story, which I think might have worked better with benefit of hindsight later on in the seasons. And then this 8 comes, Jeremy comes back, and it's Angels and Demons, and the culmination of that. I remember Mark bringing the video, the rough video of the angels falling from the sky. And we were on set, and we were looking at it, and we were almost in tears going, this is going to be fantastic. It's the feeling that everybody wanted it to be fantastic. And, you know, I've never been prouder of you. You were amazing. You were absolutely amazing in that. And it was, there I am with the stupidest dialogue about HBO's girls, and I'm like, and that's my favourite moment in that is written, but I don't know how we found it. And it's when I go, you go, what? And I go, what? It's the most weird disconnect. It's like, where are we? What are we doing?
I can remember vividly shooting. I can remember it like it's happening right now. I can remember going up with the syringe, the last syringe, and you revealing your neck. And it was such a human. I have chills right now. I remember shooting. I remember where we were. I remember holding it. I remember so much about it.
It was cool, man.
Yeah.
That was cool. That's a nice way to go to work. So to answer that, what Morgan was saying, my dad used to say something brilliant. He goes, there's 2 types of jobs in the world. There's the job that you do so that you can do the things that you love. And then if you're incredibly lucky, there's the job that you love.
Yeah.
And if you can make one become the other, you're a very, very lucky person. And in the meantime, keep doing the job that you do so you can do it.
Great question, Roxy. Thanks for that. Station number 4. What's your question?
It's on Chloe, but before we question, Jared, I have a present for you. But the other host has.
She's got a present for you, but the other host, Ben, has ruined it. You're getting every evidence of it.
Yours probably smells better because you've been
Insulted the toffees in the worst way possible.
I got you, girl. I got you.
But my question is, if you had to live with one of them for the rest of your life, would you rather live with Sam without a soul or Dean when he had the Mark King?
I'm going Sam without a soul.
Yeah.
He's so hot. I go Sam without a soul because Sam without a soul was just objective. He was sort of like, well, And if I can kill 3 people to save 4, then I saved a life. So I would understand his reasoning. Martin King Bean was like, he might just kill me because he's mad. For Same Without a Soul, I would speak math to him. So I'll go that. And we know what he wants.
Oh yeah, that should have gone on for an entire season. Dean was just the best thing ever. The karaoke. I'm too sexy. Oh man, this is good.
Thank you for the offer. We can match.
No, I'm a red.
That's wonderfully ironic. That's like, hey Jared, this tastes like shit, try it. I'll take this one. I'm sure there's thank you so much, but I'm sure there's a dear fan who would love it. Thanks, Carl. Yes, we are.
You bought it, you've got to keep it. Can we go to number 2 again?
Hi, I'm Sarah. What is the funniest or strangest interaction you've had with a fan?
I'll tell you the New Zealand one.
No, I want to hear it.
So I was with Amanda Tapping, who directed and was in the show as well. And we were in New Zealand. There was this very, very tall girl. 6'5", 6'6". Kind of your height. She was shaking and sweating and panicking. And she was waiting to come see me. So I was trying to be nice and I said, "It's okay, take a breath." She goes, "I'm just trying not to shit myself."
Did you figure out if she succeeded?
I don't It was so like on the nose.
On the nose, I see what you did there. So she failed. I cannot top that. But I will say, and this wasn't strange, I've had some pretty awesome experiences. I had my first time that I was really like, oh wow. Jen and I got married and went on our honeymoon and went to Bora Bora. And so we were flying from Los Angeles to Tahiti on Air Tahiti Nui. And we boarded, like a 6-hour flight or something. And this is 2010, so it's still relatively early in the show, 4 or 5 seasons, before it kind of caught on, before Netflix, before this and that. And we're on this plane, and the flight attendant is coming and saying hi, and do you need anything, or a glass of sparkling wine, or whatever. We're like, chatting. And then towards the end, when we're about to descend, he comes over, he's like, by the way, I just got my first ever tattoo a month or 2 ago, and do you want to see it? I was sort of like, it was totally out of context. Sure. And so he undoes his Air Tahiti Nui flight attendant thing, and it was the first ever possession tattoo I saw, and it was like flying to our honeymoon, which was nuts. So that sticks out. I've had a few that stick out, but I haven't had any kind of like crazy.
3 days after the end of Dean and Dean, when the eyes came on and we all went nuts. That whole amazing scene. I was in Australia, and
They're weird.
the girl had tattooed on her calf, beautiful, almost a woodcut looking thing with a wolf, and it said, "Let's go take a howling." 3 days after it aired, I was like, so I called Jeremy and I went, "You better write some really good last lines."
Give me some dialogue.
We love it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a magical thing that it seems like the sum of this is so much bigger, than its individual parts. The fact that this connects so many people is the greatest gift I've ever seen. We care about the things that we care about. You guys make it bigger. We travel the world. We go around the world on a show that's been, cancelled for how many years now? And it will not die. You guys are just rewatching, bringing new people to it.
Thank you so much. It's magic. And we're going to go to number 1 again?
Hi, my name's Nicola. So when the pilot aired, I was going through a nervous breakdown, tried to commit suicide. And I found the show really got me through some dark times. It got me through some tough pregnancies. It got me through relationship problems. It got me through a marriage. got me in a marriage. And I just wanted to ask, what is it when you're down that gets you through?
Captain. Yeah. Thank you. Life is funny. It's back and forth, right? I try and think of life as kind of like the tides. There are great moments. I mean, this selfishly for me, hopefully for y'all too. I know for Mark as well. This is a great moment. Then I'm gonna get home and the kids are gonna fight, or the car's gonna break down, or our goats get attacked by a dog. Not kidding. But like, there are really hard days, and you just remember, like, keep going, and the tide shifts, and kind of getting used to the discomfort of it, and remembering that, you know, like, look around. We get to see all this, and y'all looking at us, but we're looking back at y'all, but we're all here for each other. You know, we happen to be on stage because we helped tell this story, but this is our story. This isn't mine, this isn't his, this isn't Jensen's and Misha's. This is our story. And I said before, I mean it, keep fighting until you realize what you're fighting for.
We're going to go to number 3.
Hi, my name's Sophie. I'm like trying not to freak out a little bit. But I just want to say I love you both so much. I didn't really get to say anything when I met you because I was a bit too busy like trying to keep everything together. But,
I feel that way about you too.
Is what's like the longest an episode took? Like what episode took the longest to film?
They were all pretty much 8 days, other than season 4. The pilot was 16 days. The rest were pretty much 8 days. I think the finale we had 9 days. Yeah, they were all pretty much 8 days. And so some episodes were pretty easy. Like there was one, the bug monster with me and Felicia, where like Felicia and I just sat in the truck for like 1 day and shot basically 30 minutes worth of footage. And there were some where, hey, you're at this location, hey, you're at that location, hey, you're here, hey, you're there. But they were all pretty much the same, realistically. I think the winter episodes felt like they took a lot longer. We were sitting out there, like, it's cold, it sucks, my trailer's a mile away, I can go back to it, so I'm just gonna be out here and freeze. But I think, by and large, they're all pretty much the same. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Loads of time, so we're going to try and get through as many as possible. Number 4.
Hi.
Oh, can somebody help? Somebody.
Put it on the air below you.
Yeah.
I'm good. So I'm Chris from Barcelona. The show came out almost 20 years ago. So if it came out like this year, what do you think it would change?
If the show came out this year.
I understand Barcelona better than Liverpool.
Better than Welsh.
That's a great question. Someone just farted.
I instantly look at you though.
I think if it came out when Jared and Jensen are in their 40s, there'd be a lot less action. So to speak.
A little less.
A lot more like Sam and Dean laying in bed like, hey, you get this one. Here in the bunker.
Sam Crowley.
Sam Crowley. I'm not sure how much would change. I think the boys' journeys and the entire cast characters' journeys needed to be told. And there's something, I think one of the things that joins Star Wars fans or Harry Potter fans, Lord of the Rings fans, is a love of the timeless elements of storytelling, which then lends itself to life. You know, there are struggles that we've talked about, people. There are triumphs and disasters, and treat both those imposters just the same. So I think I hope it would not have changed, because I'm really proud of the way it was.
The reason why it endures and the reason why there's new audiences is because the themes are as necessary now as they ever were. Family, brotherhood, care, sacrifice, taking care of each other, love, all of those things that are missing from so many other versions of stories. And I'm proud of the fact that people unite behind it and that we've been at least useful. We've been useful in the telling of a story, and I see it on a daily basis, and I'm so proud of it. It's crazy how proud I can be of the people that they're going, you know what, I'll give it a go, or I'll try.
We're going to go to two again.
Hey, Robbie.
Hi, my name is Wesley. I came from Germany to see you, and it's great. Thank you. Dankeschön.
Germany is great, or?
It's great back there. Great to see you. My question is, how's the feeling to see all the merch, like fukkerpuffs, action figures of you and your characters?
Thousands of...
What was the first match that you said?
Funko Pop. Garrett the little doll.
That's me, sure, isn't it? Fukkerpuffs?
It's funny. I played with action figures growing up for sure. So to kind of have your own is pretty rad. One of the funniest experiences Jensen and I had was at Comic-Con, I forget which season, but Comic-Con San Diego. And we went to the Entertainment Weekly party, which is always like the biggest party of the weekend. And we were there, it was like Hugh Jackman, I think X-Men had just come out. It was like Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry, Momoa's, like everybody's there. And they had these giant Funko Pop, or how do you say it? Funko Pop? They had these Funko Pops. I like the way you say it better. But they had these giant, like, larger than life Sam and Dean Funko Pops. And he and I sat there like, those are the only ones there. And they're like, Tom Cruise, like they're fucking huge A-list stars. And they're like, why do y'all get them and we don't? I'm like, suck it.
I didn't have a Funko Pop for years. Yeah, and so I came out on stage. San Diego, and Misha had taken a Starbucks cup, 2 lolly sticks. And I was like so miserable. And so the next year, of course, they made all these Funko Pops for me. So I snuck out early onto the stage and put a Funko Pop in front of everybody's chair. And so they, Sheppard, hey, Jensen Ackles comes out, he walks out, he looks down, he sees the Funko Pop and he goes,
So we've got time for one more question.
Thanks so much, brother.
Thank you.
Doctor.
Last question.
Hi there.
Station number 1.
Hi, I'm Natasha. Firstly, thank you for making my day, because I got to meet both of you today. It's been absolutely amazing. My question is, if, and whether it was a short period of time or a long period of time, and you can't say yourselves, who's your favourite character out of the whole show?
Wow. Me. It wouldn't be me. Even given the option.
Charlie. Sam.
Who's the one you would go like, I would have smashed that if I wasn't Sam? Translator again.
Well, yes, I'm not sure what smash means here.
I would have been great in that role if I wasn't Sam.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Who would you be?
You know who I'd like? So one of the best compliments I ever got to this day was the last day filming Supernatural, and my dear friend Jesse, who was also Jensen's stunt double and our stunt coordinator for a while, shook my hand. It's an emotional day, and he looked at me and he goes, "I can't wait to know you when you're 60." And it sounds weird, but I was like, oh my God, like he sees me. Like I'm an old soul, like what a fucking cool thing to say. On that note, I'll go with Bobby Singer. I'd like to play Bobby Singer.
Yeah.
So in like 70 or 80 years, I'd like to play by myself.
I think I was wonderfully jealous of Pellegrino. I thought he was so brilliant at playing it, but it's not what I wanted to do. And the day I saw Julian playing Death, and the opening shot on the 59 bubble back, and do you know what the license plate was? It's not in the shot, and it was on Tim. Remember Tim when Tim did the steady game? So Tim did it and he got tired on the second one or something, and it went over the license plate, the Death's license plate, and it was bye. And he walks down in slow motion.
The slow motion, the guy bumps into him, and then
oh, that's too cool.
Yeah, that's too cool. Good point.
Love that.
All right, I'm looking at the time.
Yeah, that's all we've got time for, unfortunately.
They're kicking us off.
Should we get a big selfie before we go, though?
Yeah!
Can we get Ben back on?
The topic!
Oh, God. Leave it, man. Leave it.
What, the toughies? Oh, I think so.
Oh, the topic. No, sorry.
Fukkerpuff.
Fukkerpuff. Fukkerpuff. We're going to do a big kind of Fukkerpuff. You ready for it?
Yeah.
And 3, 2, 1.